I'm James Urbaniak, and I'm playing Henry Carr in Travesties by Tom Stoppard. I play Henry Carr. He's an anonymous little man, kind of a bit of an upper-class twit, who doesn't have much interest beyond his trousers and the works of Gilbert and Sullivan. And he works for the British consulate in Zurich in 1917 during the First World War. And at the same time, living in Zurich are Tristan Tzara of the Dada art movement, Vladimir Lenin of the Russian Revolution movement, which is starting to happen, and James Joyce of the literature, 20th century literature movement. And Henry Carr meets and interacts with these people. Henry Carr was a real person who met James Joyce in Zurich in 1917, and Joyce had formed an English language theater company, kind of an amateur group, and Henry Carr ended up being in their production of The Importance of Being Earnest. And so Travesties is about the elderly Henry Carr recalling his time interacting with all these people in Zurich during the First World War, but his memory is a little flaky. He's an old man, and a lot of his memories are framed through his memories of the importance of being earnest. Reading the play, one of my favorite scenes is just the hilarious exchange between Joyce and Carr when James Joyce first offers Carr the role of Algernon Moncrief, and Carr asks him to explain the play, and Joyce, rather cannily appealing to what would attract Carr to the play, describes it only in terms of the costumes Algernon wears throughout the play. So he describes, Act 1, you enter wearing, and he describes what Carr is wearing. Act 2, you wear this, and then Carr says, oh, could I be wearing a boater? He says, oh, yes, you know. And that's just a purely hilarious exchange. And the thing is, the play is really damn funny. And Stoppard writes in a tradition of English humor and absurdity that goes back to, you know, Monty Python and the Goons in the 50s, which is the group Peter Sellers was in, and for all its ostensibly cerebral concerns, it's actually in a kind of rollicking tradition of English nonsense comedy. If anyone is considering seeing Travesties, I would say you should go. You should definitely jump over to the yes side of that question. It's a damned entertaining, very funny play, and it throws out, the way Stoppard plays do, a bit of intellectual food for thought, but that's not the primary purpose of the play. The primary purpose of the play is to create this purely theatrical concoction that can only be experienced in a theater. There's kind of something for everyone.